Well, good morning. It's so good to be here again. We do have a bit of a presentation introducing or reintroducing the First Nations housing community. It's been amazing to be a part of the last couple days and see all the interaction, um, be a part of the community awards event last night, and hopefully I know today there'll be lots of amazing information in the workshops, and hopefully you also make plans to attend again at a future event. So our presentation here, we're going to take a bit to introduce and perhaps reintroduce the First Nations housing community, the sponsoring community or organization that supports this event and puts this together. So we'll just get right into it here. What is the First Nations housing community? It is the community is guided by a holistic vision, proudly rooted in a First Nations-led approach focused on capacity building and honoring over 2 decades of First Nations Housing Conference legacy. The bolded words are things that guided the planning committee in forming the housing community organization, holistic. It's important that we never lose touch with the grassroots of our communities and community members. And that's where we also say, well, we say grassroots, we say organic, meaning things that naturally we learn about and hear about when we have an event like this. We never want to lose sight of those things. And I think it's important that it is a First Nations-led approach. So it's priorities that we hear together when we're here, and also in other ways that we work with our communities. It's important that we have our priorities in place. And you know, our jobs are full of taking on say government funding opportunities and partnering with other communities or organizations. It's important, I think, that we keep our community priorities up front for us. Capacity building, again, through things like the trade show and engaging with service providers and contractors, government stakeholders, the Builders Challenge, all of these things are all meant to give us opportunities to learn, to grow. Yesterday was incredibly inspiring to see youth involved in helping lead the different Builders Challenge. They spent day one with a couple of professionals learning all of those different areas and learning about construction. So amazing to see that happen more deliberately. We've always thought, how can we include youth in this event? And it costs money to get youth here as well. So we were excited to have some sponsorship to cover that, and hopefully that can continue into the future. And of course, we've talked a lot about meeting, you know, this being our 22nd event, starting from a small, a small number of tribal councils that plan this event in Sioux Lookout, so northwest of here, and then growing here to Thunder Bay. It's been an amazing journey. So the community, it is a place where all of those working in First Nations housing can gather and work together to support our communities. What is a First Nations-led approach? I've talked about some of this already. The housing community is built on ideas shared by all First Nation communities across Canada. So our goal is to have this event as a forum as well, and an online presence where we, you know, how many people were a part of the webinars or listened or viewed the webinars that were on the last few weeks? They'll be carrying on. So if you look on the website, there should be webinar information there where we're providing, you know, 45-minute to an hour long webinars. I believe it's been on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those will be carrying on for some weeks. And as there's interest and ideas coming forward, we'll continue to have those types of opportunities available to connect. And it's we base those events on ideas that we hear from people like you. We want to be focused on the needs of today. Our journey, we were officially launched at the 2019 First Nations Housing Conference. So this is talking about the community and how we can build something that we can all benefit from. And it's everybody we're focused on. So it's community members, community builders, builders, contractors, other First Nations organizations. How can we have a place that we can work together, learn together, and share our experiences together. So that was officially launched in 2019. We had a group of 13 tribal councils. This number has fluctuated from time to time over the years. There's 15 tribal councils in Ontario, 15 or 16. So we've had a large contingent of them engaged with this event over time, and it's fluctuated from time to time, from year to year, but that's by far the majority of the communities in Ontario, and of course, we're looking to expand our base in that sense. So the history. Since then, we've continued as key organizers of this conference, and we want to continue that. We've, of course, had the Builders Challenge, which we were able to participate in yesterday, and the annual Community Housing Recognition Awards. Again, yesterday we had given out the most awards we have ever done at this event. We had, of course, the most applicants as well for that. And we want to continue to honor our communities across the country for their important work. And thank you to Moose Legs for honoring them again this morning. Incredibly inspiring. I'll take on something. Sure.
You click or advice. Sorry. All right. That's just great. All right, continuing with the history. Over the years in the conference, we've had some resources developed. Some of the resources were brochures that we handed out for guides on how to do maintenance and HRV, wood stove maintenance, home maintenance pinwheel we had where, certain times a year, certain areas of the house you can use to find out how to maintenance, how to address certain issues. Numerous custom how-to videos that we shared on webinars or online, and hours of recorded video content accessible online, same thing. So with the community, with the conference, we have a lot of valuable information that comes to the conference, a lot of valuable information that's shared, and a lot of experts that come here. And what we realized is that we'd like to offer that on a year-round basis, where it's something virtual, something that we can access, something that we can communicate together with. And believe it or not, the volunteer, we, not by choice, our events coordinator definitely bullies us around, but we meet every 2 weeks, sometimes throughout the year, just on this conference alone. As we meet, obviously we're in and out of who attends and who doesn't, but there's a lot of work that goes into the conference and a lot of information that gets passed through it. And we don't want it to just be a once a year opportunity for people to access. We want it to be a year-round thing. So some of the challenges we face as a group, I think our vision is not to be a political party. Our vision is not to develop a group that's driving political messages. We don't want to be at that level. That's not our goal. Our vision is just to have the community as everyone being able to share together. And I think at award winners last night, there's a couple of really good speeches, but one was shared that just sharing good stories, sharing success stories, sharing bad stories, being able to communicate together is huge. And that's one way that we know we're going to overcome some of the challenges, and if we continue to work together. So what are we doing today? Well, we keep reintroducing the community as our vision, as our goal to develop this in a year-round basis. We've rebranded the community, and together we're trying to bring together the key stakeholders in the spirit of the collaboration of the community. So the four main components of the community are developed in the symbol that we see advertised everywhere. Pardon me. Okay. And the logo. And so there's some little they really made me clear to let everybody know that this is a magnet that's on, not a coaster. It comes in puzzle pieces. It develops the four components: the government, the industry, the community, the First Nations community. That's not the First Nations housing community. That's the communities around and the individuals in the communities, and that's what develops the group that can discuss together, work together, and team up together. And that develops our First Nation housing community. You want to finish it off?
Our vision is we envision a vibrant network of empowered First Nation communities working together in alignment with the voices and perspectives of its members across Canada. And this will ensure that First Nations community members' needs and aspirations are genuinely addressed. And we'll learn more about how we want to do that in the days ahead as well. Our values: empowerment and leadership. So we want to encourage you all and empower all of us together by learning together, by hearing incredible stories and learning experiences. So it's not always good news stories. Sometimes we learn by bad experiences, and we learn how to do things differently for another time. And that's important. And it's important to share that together. Cultural integrity. We want to make sure we're being respectful of our community values and even community protocols. And they can vary widely across the country. Holistic approach. Again, that's kind of like a grassroots and paying attention to what community values or individual values exist in each communities and how we can address housing needs. Collaboration, of course, is working together in teams, working together in the tables that you're sitting at. How can we do that? And how can we have opportunities to do that moving forward? And operational advocacy, some of this is more how do we do it? And how can I improve the situation in my community is our goal. Like Keith mentioned, it's not our goal to have to get involved in politics and the politics of the way communities work, as much as supporting our housing departments, our community members to move forward in their communities. The services from the community include training and development, community advocacy, expert advice. It's amazing with the working group, the committee, the amount of experience, and we talk about different housing construction issues or renovations or policies, all of these things. It's incredible to hear and learn together, and I'm sure much of that is happening through these days at the event. Information sharing, of course, that's like this, and also through the website. You see the cameras around in each of the workshops, so all of those get recorded and are made available through the website for other viewing. I know people have asked about, what if I want to be in another workshop or hear another seminar at the same time, the same block of time in the event? So the goal in the past has been to make the workshops available, the recordings, so you can check back in sometime later, and all of those should be posted there. Member support, how can we support your community housing managers, when we talk about, say, policy or templates for, I don't know, construction management, all of these kinds of things. Our goal is to be able to support each other in that way. And another, research and communications. There's so much innovation happening in construction. Yesterday there were a lot of service providers and suppliers here with new innovative construction ways of constructing a home. We want to make sure as well that they're vetted properly and say have applicable CSA standards and acceptance by, say, the Canadian Construction Materials Commission. All of these things are important to us to make sure that we're advocating for proper construction and proper building materials. We embrace our new beginning. So this year marks a significant step forward with new opportunities to drive initiatives that support housing teams. And we'll talk a bit more about some of those. Together, we are already seeing the change take shape through key milestones. We had funding secured for the survey that was mentioned the other day. Again, there was over 1,400 participants in that survey, and we'll continue to report on the results. We had the Youth Challenge yesterday as part of the Builders Challenge. Again, we would love to be able to do that in future events and have youth here formally, and inspire them and show them as well, opportunities they can have and take up for their careers and serving their communities. Self-funding for First Nation housing community webinars. The community does not have annual base funding, so it's through a lot of effort, say through our conference organizers and other government stakeholders that provide one-time event funding. So, being able to do all this, the planning committee, the working group, it's all volunteer. So we do all of our other work, and we serve on these meetings and stuff. Keith mentioned sometimes they're weekly or every 2 weeks, for sure monthly. It's a lot of effort, but it's incredible to be here and see you all engaging with each other, see the amount of people that show up and the interaction that happens, and we want to keep doing that. Today's call to action. To move forward, we need you and your community. You meaning if you're here for representing an organization, a government stakeholder, we're all in this together, and that's we value appropriate and the best available housing for our communities, and we want to continue to find ways that we can do that together. So your support and participation are essential. That's why we're focusing on the following keywords: funding, friends, focus, and function. And we'll look at each a little bit here. Funding, attracting funding to ensure we can sustain and grow initiatives that benefit the community. Again, so building, even things like building websites, continuing to host webinars, all of this, it does take time and cost, and we want to continue to offer those. It's been inspiring to see dozens of people connecting on the webinars, and they're, of course, a variety of topics, and we'll continue to do that as we're able. Friends like you, your teams, and your community, by becoming a member, we can work together to actively support and advance our mission. Focus on a few key initiatives, including membership, capacity building, and knowledge sharing. Again, some of the base of why we want to keep putting on this event and building, say, our website, and being able to advocate for your community. Function is improving how we operate and communicate to be more functional in turning plans into action. So we can say the best things and have the best intentions, but what do we do when we go home? How do we carry this inspiration into our own communities for better opportunities?
So under this new focus and focus of the community, here's our next steps. So our goal is to have virtual community visits. It's an opportunity to meet and discuss your community needs and how becoming a member of our community can help. And it's also us finding out how we can help you. Filling out the form to provide your details. So on the table, there's a individual form you can write in by hand. You can fill that out. And then there's also another pamphlet that has the QR code that you can sign up virtually instead. And then our team in the future will reach out to schedule a virtual community visit with your housing team. So advisory board across Canada, sharing regional needs and experiences to build national perspectives and priorities. We're always open to having new members, and it doesn't matter where you're from across Canada. We feel that sharing the issues together is what's going to make us more valuable across the board. And professional training, we are working toward the launch of capacity building programs to help offer professional training opportunities through webinars, through the website. As we learn and as we meet people, we'll access different things that we might find very valuable. Oh, right. This is the important one, Fade. Okay. So on your table, you have a magnet. That's the magnets and puzzle pieces. Vade was very adamant that we mentioned that it is a puzzle piece and it's a magnet. And um, okay, thanks. All right, and so we look forward to seeing you sign up, seeing you part of the members, and seeing you at the next virtual community visit. Thank you very much for your time.